It's no surprise that John Wick 4, the fourth installment in the John Wick franchise, completely crushed box office records for its opening release. And it's all over the news. John Wick 4 is the franchise's best opening film, completely shattering records of its predecessors. To me, that means a lot. I've seen all three movies in their opening week, and I've been a fan since day one. But before we can continue, can we take a moment to appreciate the phenomenal work of Chad Stahelski, the director of all four John Wick films, and all the crew responsible for John Wick 4's entire production. Stahelski's pushing past the boundaries of the action genre, creating masterpieces in the process, and bringing back the old ways. If you know, you know, of what action movies used to be. And this is where I'm going to put the spoiler alert. This is where I get into the spoilers of the film, and if you haven't watched the film, I advise you to click out. Otherwise, feel free to stay here if you've watched it and just geek out on both the appreciation and the film process of John Wick 4. I want to preface this by saying John Wick 4 can be a standalone film. If it's a date night, or if this is your intro into getting into the franchise. However, to ultimately appreciate the film, to understand the story, the world building, the wants and needs of each and every character in the story, it's an understatement to say that I recommend people to watch the past three films. John Wick 4's story continues to solve the unanswered questions of John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum in its specialty. Bold action sequences and the introduction of more complex characters into its narrative. We've come to understand John Wick's character and what the meaning of excommunicado leads to. A path painted red, of blood, of violence, and of loss. We bear witness to these things and these tragedies at the very beginning of the film, with the fall of the New York Continental, the loss of Lance Reddick's character Charon, and rest in peace to Lance, by the way, and the destruction of the Osaka Continental, leading to Hiroyuki Sanada's character Shimazu's death. We've come to understand the brevity of John's actions in these last films, these last three, but not at its entirety. There are consequences to his actions, and these actions create these ripple effects that affect the very lives of the few friends John has left. John Wick 4 explores the theme of revenge in a complex light, with the introduction of characters like Donnie Yen's Kane and Shamir Anderson's Tracker. Their motives put a pause in John's goal of leaving the underworld society of the High Table. Here, I want to take a moment to shed the parallel of Kane and Wick. Understanding Kane's character allows us to see the version of John Wick if he still had someone by his side. John Wick 4's world building stretches farther than its roots in New York, the place we're truly accustomed to. We see it in Osaka, Berlin, and Paris. All three locations give us glimpses of Wick's past life, his relationships, his family, and his brotherhood. Things we were only teased in the past installments or just recently heard of now. John Wick 4 does tremendously well when it comes to the pacing of the story. Thank you to the editors, by the way. And it truly amazes me. It really truly amazes me since there are rarely any flashbacks or exposition dumps in the film. Only storytelling through really concise dialogue between characters that take pause in action sequences. And it's truly an all-you-can-eat buffet for action movie junkies and fans of the John Wick franchise. And we are fed more knowledge behind the world of the High Table and John's history, leaving us with more unanswered questions at the end of the film. There are truly a plethora of things I can nerd out about the film. The color palette and the color theory, the really well-renowned cinematography and score that accompanies it, the SFX, the VFX, the editing, the insane stunts that we see behind the scenes of all over social media, things that we've been teased of, especially the one where the guy tumbles down the escalator behind the scenes, that was truly remarkable. There should be, I couldn't agree more, there should definitely be a stunt category in the Oscars. And I cannot even fathom the amount of work, mental fortitude, and choreography that goes on set with these stuntmen. The long takes they have to go through, the rehearsals, and the martial arts training and knowledge that the stuntmen already have decades of. I give them a round of applause for that. The action genre is heavily saturated with blockbuster franchises that continuously pump out mediocre films for profit. Recycled scripts, reboots, and movies that completely miss the mark when it comes to both storytelling and action scenes. John Wick 4 is truly a masterpiece of the tremendous stunt work, the choreography, and long takes of action and direction that leave the viewers completely mesmerized. Watching the movie in theater, I was in awe at the amount of long shots and sequences that seemed never ending. The ones that would continue on. The fight in the Osaka Continental, the fight in Paris, the God's Eye view that really reminded me of like these video games and, you know, these military like tactics and stuff like that, where you see the God's Eye view and then you see the people in like, you know, ultraviolet light, or you see the people on radar and they go through the building and they do a sweep. That entire sequence was so freaking amazing to me. Dude, I was so happy seeing that, and I was like, dude, I was like mouth dropped. I was like, whoa, this is something we haven't even really seen in film before. Like, that's amazing. In the end, we are left with a masterpiece of a film, of cinema that will undoubtedly age well. I'll go to the cinema again and again until John Wick 4 eventually ends its run in theaters. This film revolutionized what truly defines an action film, and it gives me faith. Faith that with this franchise and the creation of other modern action films that I've fell in love with over the years, that people will start to have a deep appreciation of filmmakers, actors, and crew. To a point that I really do want to see and maybe even teach a filmmaking class in the high school level, or even in the middle school level, who knows. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching this video. I love analyzing films and being enthusiastic about them too, truly just nerding out and putting my 2 cents into the fray. This is a multimedia channel where I upload gameplay, game reviews, film analysis and videos, and film essays, usually pop culture and nerd shit. So if you like that kind of stuff, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe down below and leave a comment of your favorite moment in the movie. But yeah, that's about it. This is your boy Kuya Sunset, aka Big Mike, signing out. See you guys next time. Catch you on the flip side.